Okay, imagine this. What if I told you that everything you see, everything you experience, every single thing around you isn't just random? It's not just happening to you. What if, at some deep level, your consciousness, your awareness, is actually in charge of it all? That's what we're about to explore today. It sounds wild, right? But stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just question everything you thought you knew about reality. We're going to take this idea that consciousness could be the driver of reality, and we're not stopping at the idea itself. We're going to ask, what does that mean for us? What's next for you if you are actually the one in control of reality? That's where things get crazy. So buckle up. Let's start with something basic. What is consciousness? You know, the thing that's in your head right now, watching this video, thinking those thoughts. But it's more than just brain activity, right? It's you. It's the you-ness of you. It's not just neurons firing. It's the thing that makes you aware that you exist. Now, take that awareness and ask yourself, what if it's not just observing reality, but actually shaping it? Here's an example. Has there ever been a time when you thought about something, and then, out of nowhere, it happened? Like you think about a friend, and then they call you. Or you imagine something you want, and somehow it seems to show up in your life. Some people might call it coincidence, but what if that's not it at all? What if it's you, actually pulling the strings of reality with your thoughts? Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, I've heard all this law of attraction stuff before, but this is bigger than that, much bigger, because we're talking about the possibility that reality itself, the fundamental fabric of it, could be influenced, bent, and maybe even created by your consciousness. I'm not just talking about attracting positive vibes or manifesting a parking spot. I'm talking about the very nature of existence. Let's break this down. Science has already shown us some really strange stuff. Quantum physics tells us that particles behave differently when they're being observed. Think about that. The simple act of watching something changes its behavior. That's not some fringe theory. That's a fact proven in experiments. So if observation, if awareness can change the way particles behave, why wouldn't it be possible for consciousness to have a much bigger role in shaping reality?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
But here's where it gets even crazier. What if all of reality is just like those particles? What if it's all waiting on you to observe it, to give it form, to give it meaning? That's what some philosophers and even scientists are starting to think. That reality isn't something out there that we're just wandering through. It's something that we're co-creating moment by moment with our consciousness. So if that's true, what does that mean for you? What should you do with that knowledge? Well, first of all, it means you're not a victim of circumstance. You're not just drifting through life at the mercy of external forces. You have way more power than you realize. If consciousness really is in control of reality, then it's time to start using it. But how? Here's the practical part. Start paying attention to your thoughts. No, not in a cliché self-help kind of way. I'm talking about serious attention. If your consciousness is shaping reality, then everything you think matters. Every belief you hold, every assumption you make about the world, it's all affecting what happens around you. So ask yourself, what kind of reality are you creating right now? Are you creating a world where you're constantly stressed and anxious? Or are you shaping a reality where things are actually working out for you? This isn't just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about taking control of your consciousness and directing it the way you want. There's a reason why some people seem to have an easier time in life. It's not just luck. It's because their consciousness is aligned with the reality they want. So here's the real question for you: if your consciousness controls your reality, what kind of world do you want to live in? And more importantly, what are you willing to change about your thoughts and your beliefs to make that world a reality? Okay, now that we've established that consciousness might actually control reality, let's get into the nitty-gritty. If this is true, and we're not just talking about it as some abstract concept, then your beliefs, right now, are shaping the world around you. Think about that. Not just your immediate surroundings, but your whole experience of life. Your relationships, your job, your health. It's all being influenced by what you believe to be true. You might be thinking, wait, how can my beliefs affect things like my health or my job? Those seem like real, physical things that have nothing to do with my thoughts. But here's the thing: everything starts with a belief. Before you can act, you have to believe something about the situation. Before you can even perceive something, your mind is filtering it through your beliefs. Here's a simple example. Imagine walking into a room full of people. Now, if you believe that everyone in the room likes you, how are you going to act? You're probably going to be confident, right? You're going to smile, maybe start a conversation without hesitation. And more often than not, people are going to respond positively to you. But what if you believe the opposite? What if you walk in thinking everyone is judging you or secretly dislikes you? You're going to act differently. You might avoid eye contact, keep to yourself, or maybe even leave early. And guess what happens? People will probably respond to you in a way that confirms your belief. This isn't just in your head, it's happening in real life. Your beliefs are literally creating your experience. And the wild part is, most of us don't even realize it. We walk around with all these beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about how the world works, and we don't question them. But if consciousness truly controls reality, then these beliefs are everything. So what do you believe about yourself? Do you believe you're capable? Do you believe you deserve success? Or do you believe that life is a struggle, that you're always going to be stuck in the same place? Whatever it is, that belief is shaping your reality, whether you like it or not. Now let's talk about changing those beliefs, because that's the next step. If you want to take control of your reality, you have to start with your mind. And that's not easy. We've all been programmed from childhood with certain beliefs about how the world works. Some of them are helpful, but a lot of them are just holding us back. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something because you just knew it wouldn't work out? How often do you assume that people won't like you, or that success is only for other people? These are limiting beliefs, and they're keeping you from creating the reality you actually want. But here's the good news: beliefs can be changed. Your mind is incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly flexible. You just have to start questioning those beliefs. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? Is it actually true? And when you find a belief that's not serving you, replace it with one that does. It's going to take work. It's not like you can just flip a switch and suddenly believe in yourself 100%. But every time you catch a limiting belief and choose to replace it with something better, you're retraining your mind. And as your mind changes, so does your reality. This is where things get practical. Start small. Pick one area of your life where you want to see a change. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your relationships. Now, pay attention to the beliefs you have around that area. What are you telling yourself? What do you believe is possible for you? And then ask yourself, what would happen if I believe something different? How do you see your future? Seriously, think about it for a second. When you imagine yourself 5, 10, even 20 years from now, what do you see? Do you see success? Do you see happiness? Or do you see the same struggles, the same frustrations, the same challenges you're facing right now? Here's the thing: most of us, whether we realize it or not, have already pre-programmed our future. We carry around these mental images of what our life is going to look like, and those images are based on our current beliefs. If you believe life is hard, then you probably imagine a future where you're still grinding, still struggling. If you believe success is for other people, then your mental picture of the future reflects that. You see other people winning while you stay stuck in the same place. But what if you could change that picture? What if, instead of unconsciously creating a future based on your current limitations, you could intentionally create a future based on what you actually want? That's where things get interesting. Because if consciousness controls reality, then you have the power to shape not just your present, but your future as well. Let's talk about visualization. You've probably heard about it before, and maybe you've even tried it. But this isn't about sitting in a dark room and wishing for good things to happen. This is about using your consciousness, your awareness, your beliefs, your thoughts to actively design the future you want to live in. Here's how it works. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something that's real and something that's vividly imagined. That's why you can watch a scary movie and feel your heart race, even though you know you're safe. Your brain is reacting to the images you're feeding it. So if your brain can't tell the difference between real and imagined, why not feed it images of the future you actually want? Start by thinking about what you really want. Not what you think is possible, not what you think you can achieve based on your current circumstances, but what you truly want. Do you want financial freedom? Do you want deep, meaningful relationships? Do you want to be healthy, happy, and fulfilled? Whatever it is, get clear on it. Write it down if you need to. Now, once you have that vision in your head, visualize it. And I don't mean just casually think about it. I mean really see it. Picture yourself living that life. What does it feel like? What does your day look like? Who are you spending time with? What are you doing? Get as specific as possible. The more detail you can add, the more real it becomes in your mind. But here's the critical part: while you're visualizing, feel the emotions that come with that future. What does it feel like to be successful, to be happy, to have everything you want? Don't just see it, feel it. Because it's those emotions that will start to shift your consciousness towards creating that reality. Now, this isn't magic. You're not going to visualize your dream life once and then wake up tomorrow in a mansion with $1 million in your bank account. This is about training your consciousness to align with the future you want. The more you visualize, the more your brain starts to believe that this future is possible. And when your brain believes something is possible, it starts to change the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately, the way your reality unfolds. But here's where most people get it wrong. They visualize their dream life, but then they go back to their old beliefs. They let doubt creep in. They tell themselves, this is too good to be true, or that could never happen to me. And guess what? That doubt, that fear, those limiting beliefs, they sabotage the whole process. If you want to create a new future, you have to not only visualize it, but you have to believe it's possible. And that means constantly checking in with your thoughts, your beliefs. Every time doubt comes up, every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, you have to consciously replace that thought with I can. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. So, what does your future look like now? Are you still seeing the same old struggles? Or are you starting to see a future where you're in control, where things are going your way? Because that's the future you can create if you're willing to take control of your consciousness. But we're not done yet. There's one more thing we need to talk about, and it's the most important piece of the puzzle. Here's the final piece of the puzzle: action. You can't just sit around visualizing and expect everything to magically fall into place. And consciousness might control reality, but you still live in a physical world. And in the physical world, action is what turns thoughts into things. Here's how it works. You've got your vision. You've trained your consciousness to believe in that vision. Now it's time to start acting like that vision is already real. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They think, okay, I'll start taking action once things start changing. Once I have more money, or more time, or more opportunities, then I'll start living the life I want. But that's completely backwards. You have to start now. You have to start acting as if your future is already here. If you want to be successful, start acting like a successful person. If you want to be healthy, start acting like a healthy person. Don't wait for the external world to change before you change your behavior. Your behavior is what changes the external world. Here's a real-world example. Let's say you want to start a business. You've visualized it. You can see yourself running a successful company, making a difference, living the life you've always dreamed of. But right now, you're sitting in your room staring at your computer with no idea where to start. The old you might say, I can't do this. I don't have enough money or experience or connections. But the new you, the one who knows consciousness controls reality, starts taking action anyway. Maybe you start by researching. Maybe you reach out to people who are already doing what you want to do. Maybe you start small with whatever resources you have. The point is, you start acting like that successful business owner right now, even if the external world hasn't caught up yet. Because the external world will catch up. It has to. Remember, consciousness controls reality. But here's the thing: action isn't always comfortable. In fact, it's usually uncomfortable. You're going to have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do things that scare you, things that challenge you. But that's the point. If you want to create a new reality, you have to be willing to act differently than you did before. And here's the best part: when you start taking action aligned with your vision, the universe tends to respond. You'll start noticing opportunities you didn't see before. You'll meet people who can help you. Things will start to fall into place, not because of luck, but because you're now in alignment with the reality you want to create. So, ask yourself, what action can you take today to start aligning your consciousness with the future you want? It doesn't have to be huge. It can be something small. But start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity. The perfect moment is right now, because now is when you're shaping your future. Remember, consciousness controls reality. But it's up to you to take action and bring that reality to life. So what's next for you? The answer is simple: whatever you decide.